video for you guys here on YouTube. I do want to check my audio real quick, just to be sure that I've got some audio. There we go. Okay, cool. So I wanted to come back on here and specifically talk about the sun being in Libra and how that's going to kind of play out. And then I also wanted to pull some cards because Pluto is going to be moving into the sign of Aquarius. And I'm not going to give dates and times and all that stuff. You can look it up on a chart when Pluto is going to move into Aquarius. But I really just wanted to get kind of like a feel for what we can expect over the next couple of months as we get closer to Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius. And also just like if there's anything that comes through, like any messages that come through specifically for Pluto moving into Aquarius. I do want to say really quickly that I am still partnering with Jackery. Those of you who want to invest in a solar power generator, I do recommend that this is a great time to invest in it because there's so many planetary changes happening, and you never know when you're going to be SOL for power. So I definitely recommend it. The link to Jackery is in the description box below. I'm going to try to put it in the comments, but I always seem to forget to do that. So yeah, and then also if you'd like to donate, you can send payment or donation through PayPal. The link is on my website, oracledaphne.com, if you want to get scheduled. I'm still offering private readings. The 30 minutes is $65. The 45 minutes is $80. And I do offer split payments, people that want to split up the payments for those of you who want to do that. And again, payments are made, they're prepaid through PayPal. So all that's on my website, but it's also going to be in the description box below, if not in the comments also. So, and all donations are appreciated this time. I am still SOL for a full-time job, but the funny thing is that the last couple of days, there's been some really huge strides for the what I call the light team. And the light team is really opening people's eyes to what the last 2 years have really been about. And I am actually really proud of myself for not really putting very much energy into any of that. Obviously I worked in healthcare and I had to deal with it, but that's different than putting my energy into believing in it and believing in the things that it was really propaganda and what really it was all about, and that I want to say is part of this Libra energy and is part of the Pluto energy and is part of what like my guides are like, you got to talk about Pluto, you got to talk about Pluto. I'm like, okay. But I think that's really what it's about. The next several months are really going to be about. It's going to be peeling back the layers of the things that like maybe we didn't see. The layers of wool that we didn't see, or that most people didn't really see, and like the truth. To me, it's like Pluto being about to move into Aquarius. It's like chunks. It's like the Capricorn chunkiness is like it's like pieces of debris. And I talked about this before. I felt like I was dealing with a lot of debris, energy wise, and it's just like chunks of stuff falling away, pieces of the puzzle that might not have made sense. And with this Libra balancing point, any lie that's been told the truth is going to come out. That's the balance point. So anything that's been hidden is going to come to the surface. Anything, for those of you who like specifically suffer from depression or anxiety, the balance point is actually having a good day. It's actually feeling good. It's actually feeling like you're back in your flow, or you've got if any areas of your life were blocked, it could be financial, it could be relationship, it could be with a specific person. The balance point with Libra is that it's no longer going to be blocked. Now, some of you, may be going, well, you've had blockages in certain areas, maybe financial blockages for some time. But for some of you, not for everybody. But any area of your life where it's felt very blocked, especially recently. So like if you felt blocked recently, those blockages are going to be going away. And it's very interesting. Yesterday, you could say that it was a very challenging day. Energy wise, I was just like not into it. And then Venus moved into the sign of Libra. And see, anytime the astrology is at the tail end of something. So Venus was the tail end of its Virgo, about to move into Libra. And Pluto's at the tail end of its Capricorn journey, and it's going to be going into Aquarius. Anytime things get at the very tail end, it's just, to me, it's always like the toughest point. It's like the darkest before the dawn. It's like that point in which you've got to just get through it because you're like, this is just something that I have to do. And like yesterday, my guides were like, Beth, just try your best to get as much as you can done. And so my message to you, those of you who maybe have some planets in Libra, maybe have some planets in Capricorn. I know Capricorn has been really struggling, really hardcore for the last several years, and there's been a lot of stuff, for Capricorn. But Sagittarius also, I feel Sagittarius has had it real rough too. But like I feel those of you who have had some just rough days, I feel like there's a balancing thing where you might actually feel like better. And anytime we get to the tail end of this tough energy, it's just something where you've got to just push through and see if you can get as much as you can done and get through it and just kind of carry on and sort of push through. That's what I want to say. I had something else that I wanted to say too, but well, I don't know, like some of you may feel that actually because of this Libra energy, it's naturally kind of putting a salve on things. The Libras that I've met, and I've fallen deeply in love with some Libras in my life. The Libras that I've met all seem to have the ability to kind of make things sort of normal. They make things okay. They naturally have answers, or they're naturally smart about things, or they try to be smart about things. And even if their personal life is in a total shambles, if you go to Libra when you're having a bad day, they absolutely be that shoulder to cry on. So I don't know, like this is a time, this sun sign Libra time, I think is going to be a kind of salve for a lot of people. Even if there's rough stuff that they go through, or if they have a rough day, I feel like the energy is trying to balance things out, even if you might not feel it. And because I felt that the energy has been kind of, like yesterday was so intense, because I felt that, with this sun in Libra, you might actually feel, for some of you might feel like an extreme. You might feel like some days are just really rough, really hard. And then other days, everything kind of balances out. Like, so you might have a really crap day. Say like, let's just say the equivalent would be like, say you're a server at a restaurant, right? And one day you make nothing in tips. With the sun being in Libra, it's going to happen where a couple of days later, or the next day, or the next shift, you're going to make it all up. You're going to make twice as much. So it just kind of there's something about making things up for losses. And to me, that's the balancing point. Um, yeah. So I wanted to bring awareness to the sun being in Libra and what people can do to balance things out for themselves. I think it's taking each day at a time and knowing that, like, if you do have, let's just say, a crap day, the universe is gonna balance that out some way, somehow at this time. I'm gonna see what other messages that want to come through as far as like what people can do at this time, or what the perspective needs to be as far as like how to find the balance point. And what is the balance point? Okay, so this is actually a really tough spread. Really tough. And I don't necessarily know if I really want to go fully into this energy. Because I actually feel that the energy is really, really tough. And I'm just going to say this. For some of you, you're going to feel during this time like there's no way to balance out your life, or the things that are going on in your life that are really hard, or the things that are going on with you and maybe a partner, or the things that are going on with you and family, or the things that are going on with you and your kids. It may feel like at this time there is no balance point, because it may feel, for some of you, the shit is just so deep that you're kind of like, okay, maybe I need to just get out of Dodge, or maybe I just need to like get out of this relationship, or maybe like it's almost like some of you are just like kind of doing like want to do like a knee-jerk reaction where you're just like wanting to break out of this or break out of this energy, or like there is no antidote to your situation, or there is no way to solve your problems. And some of you, the message is that you're dealing with a lot of energy that's very heavy at times, and you're dealing with a situation. Some of you are dealing with a situation where you don't want to let go of it, or there's some kind of transformational energy. And it's funny because it goes back to the South Node in freaking Scorpio. Okay, everything is about, at this time, there's like this underlying energy of transformation. So every area of your life that you're like able to transform, whether you know it or not, is aching to transform. So for example, okay, the example for me personally is that they sold the garden that I plant out downtown. They sold the land. So it's being bulldozed at the end of October. And I've spent 2 years I can't even tell you how many flowers and plants and stuff in there. And so at this time, the push was to get me to take what I've planted and move it to different places and transform those spaces and that land and kind of spread the love and kind of transform it in unique and different ways. So, as hard as it is to get all those plants out and to undo what I've done for 2 years, it's sort of like the beauty is in that transformation. The beauty is in the new space that I created, you know, over here and over there in different places. And the beauty is and in addition, so it's sort of like this whole year for me has been you know, the pockets of harvest, like the things that I've harvested so much of, like my giant Swiss chard seeds. Like I've got more giant Swiss chard seeds than any other person. And it's sort of like this weird thing where I wasn't expecting that amount. And so the amount of transformation that's kind of coming out of this time is actually phenomenal. It's a phenomenal energy of transformation. And it's more than anyone is really expecting. So there's some really interesting energies that I'm picking up on, that I'm seeing, that really have to do with transforming different areas of your life, transforming relationships that you're in, transforming the way you live your life completely. So it could be entirely where you wake up a year from now and you're living a whole new life. Maybe you're living a whole new life in a different place where you live, you know, different place than where you live. Or you wake up and you're living a whole new life because you've gotten into a new relationship and the old partnership is falling away. Whatever it is that's transforming, whether it's something that you've done or something that you've built. You know, see, that Pluto and Capricorn energy is very, to me, is very destructive, but it's also transformational. So it's destructive because it's not, like, Capricorn is the builder. Capricorn is the construction manager, is the construction dude that goes out and builds foundations for houses. You know, like it's that that's the Capricorn. He drives it, you know, the Capricorn drive, this is very cliche, but, you know, drives a truck and, you know, has all these tools, and it's the power tools guy, you know, it's that very Capricorn, like, let's build it, the architect, let's work with our hands, the electrician. It's that energy of building. And when it's been in Pluto this whole time, it really has been about, in some way, destruction. And transformation. The destruction or the deterioration or the flattening has been in some way pushing people to transform their life in ways that they really maybe couldn't possibly imagine normally under normal circumstances. So the call for you is to really understand, like, the relationships that you're in and the situations that you're dealing with right now. I feel like for many of you, you're dealing with some crud. You're dealing with some crap. You're dealing with people that aren't healthy. If those of you who are in relationships, and the balance point, okay, and I wanted to talk about this, the balance point with the sun being in Libra at this time is about being in a healthy partnership. It's about romance. It's about, you know, the Libra is the one that asks you to dance. The Libra is the one that wants to go out and date and have dinner and, like, you know, like, have a glass of wine and, you know what I mean, get to have a long conversation. And it's just, the Libra likes relationships. You know, the Libra is always, you know, something is always going on with their relationships. So to me, those of you who are in a relationship, it's a real shit show, and I don't even really want to touch it. It's just a shit show to me. It's an absolute shit show. And I can tell you that if you wanted a private reading, I'd be happy to look at it. But for the collective, this is not a time to get into the shit show relationship. This is not a time to stay functioning in a shit show relationship. This is not that time. You know, that we only get one part of the year where the sun is in Libra, actually, where we get to think about relationships, where we get to think about romance, where we get to think about dating and having that butterflies for someone. I actually do feel like for some of you, you might be dating someone new. It might be someone new that you meet. Some of you are very much clinging to like an old relationship. And unless, I'm going to go ahead and say, those of you who are watching, unless you are dating someone brand spanking new, the old kind of needs to fall away. That's what I want to say. It's not healthy. So, yeah, that's what I want to say. So going into, let's move on to, I want to move into what's going to happen over the next couple of months as we get closer to Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius. And first of all, the thing that came to me about Pluto going into the sign of Aquarius is that, you know, Aquarius is the people. Aquarius is rebellion. Aquarius is like doing things a different way than it's been done. And that person, you know, I think there, you know, anybody who has strong Aquarius, and I have Aquarius Sun and some other planets in Aquarius, so I can say that Aquarius are the influencers. Some of the like the most well-known Aquarius is Oprah, Ellen, okay, Jennifer Aniston. Okay, like that's all Aquarius. Albert Einstein, right? So like when we talk about Pluto going into Aquarius, the thing that I think about is the Aquarius is so progressive that it really rubs people the wrong way, and is kind of like the natural light worker, even if they aren't even trying, even if like they don't know anything about energy, and they don't really consider themselves to be psychics, or they don't consider themselves to be a medium, and they don't, you know, read tarot full time. It doesn't matter. Like light workers can be all kinds of people. And so I feel like there is going to be a transformation about light work itself, and there's going to be a transformation about very progressive energy, and maybe some of the things that like have been restricted before, especially invention wise, building wise. There's all kinds of new stuff to me that's like been suppressed or repressed. I don't know what the word is, suppressed or controlled. And I feel like it's going to be like one of those things. Aquarius, to me, it's like a natural refresh. It's like a natural energy of refreshment, and also maturity. And, you know, the energy of the Capricorn is very, very slow moving, and might not move for a very, very long time. And Aquarius moves at light speed. So to me, the transformation that's going to happen is, I feel like things are going to speed up at certain times to a point where people are going to have, what the word is, they're going to have kind of, and I talked about this in one of my last videos, reaction to being overstimulated. You know, too much radioactivity, too much cell phone time, too much like energy coming at you from all different places, not really enough energy about rest or recharging. To me, it's electronic overload. That's the way I want to describe it. But it could also play out as very like anxiety. There's like, to me, more anxiety as we get closer to Pluto going into Aquarius, more anxiety. People having, even just people going outside, leaving their house, having more anxiety. And it's just this energy like where things are shifting so fast or changing so fast or moving so fast that people can't really keep up with it. And I think that's part of what we're going into. And I hate to say this, but like my guide is showing me this. There is a certain generation that is very much behind the times. Okay. And I'm sure you can think of one person, maybe in your family, that's older, that doesn't know what a debit card is, or that doesn't know how to go online or use the computer. They might have a cell phone, but they probably never use it. They don't know what an app is. They don't know, like, I mean, it's sort of like that generation is of people is very stuck, is very Capricornian, is very material. And the energy of this Pluto going into Aquarius is not stuck. It's all, it's green light, it's forward momentum. But to me, there's a beauty in forward momentum. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to get on board with a lot of the stuff that's being pushed, which I consider to be propaganda. I'm talking about more of just like, not even like, there's some people that are not even open to new things. They eat the same foods. They go to the same places. They dress the same way. They never change. And to me, it's going to be a rude awakening for those people because of this Aquarius energy. And it's very difficult, I think, for some people to even understand Aquarius, let alone step into the Aquarius energy. Stepping into the Aquarius energy means learning to do things a new way, learning to think outside the box, learning to like not necessarily have to put everything in a specific order or in a specific box. Being kind of quirky and exploring, maybe creative things that you want to do or creative ideas. To me, Aquarius is the brainstorm. It's not about like, let's implement this now. It's about, what do you think about this? What are your thoughts? Do you think this would be a good idea? Do you not think this would be a good idea? Aquarius gathers information, and it's funny, my family used to get really upset at me because I would ask everyone's opinion. I'd be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then they would be like, upset that I didn't take their opinion and implement it. I ended up doing what I wanted to do anyway. And they got really upset with me about that. But Aquarius does things their own way. And so this Pluto thing is either going to really, really shift around being able to do things your own way, maybe wanting to do things and not being able to, and also kind of breaking away this old structure of it has to be done this way without any brainstorm, without any input. I think social media is going to become really interesting because I think it's going to be really funny and interesting that employers aren't going to be able to get away with being a-holes anymore. No. Like, Aquarius is going to call them out. Like, and it's already starting. Like, I've seen it online where people are like, no, I'm going to call this out. I'm going to say this. I don't care what happens. And they're going to say it, and they say it. And it's just like, and there has to be some kind of, ownership of the crap that people are pulling, because like the old way, the Capricorn way is it's like, you go and you work for an employer and you're just told what to do. And the employer can be kind of borderline abusive and not take any input. And it's not a relationship. It's just them telling you have to either do what you're told or you get fired. And to me, that's going to be changing too. I'm seeing that being changing too. Like, I mean, the whole job thing is changing significantly with the Pluto going into Aquarius, because the old, like, 9 to 5, doing what you're told, what you're supposed to be doing, and getting paid nothing for it is old. It's like an old, outmoded way of working. And I just don't think people are going to be doing that anymore. Like, they're not going to be tolerating it anymore. And with social media being the way it is, employers are not going to be able to get away with anything anymore. So either they're going to go out of business, or they're going to have to treat their employees right. They're going to have to actually do some of the things, and the whole funny thing is I heard people, and this is like, it's going on. Everybody's talking about how, oh, there's all these jobs, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, but the employers haven't changed their what they're willing to pay you. And so you could work there, but you're not going to be able to pay your bills. You're not going to be able to pay your electric. You're not going to be able to go out and get food. You're not going to be able to afford meat. Essentially nothing. You're able to live out of a box, maybe. If you're getting $15 or $16 an hour, there's employers that are paying $15 to $16 an hour still, and that's going to have to change. All of that's going to change. Like, there's a lot of things that I think that people are wanting to see happen, but at the same time, it's going to be very overwhelming because there's going to be a lot of change all at once, and either people are going to be left way behind, or they're going to need to adapt and change and transform their life in a much faster way. Yeah, I don't know how to really go into that farther. I want to pull a few more cards to see what's going to happen when Pluto goes into Aquarius. Yeah, this is swiftness. To me, it's a swiftness. Things coming to you. Things like, to me, Aquarius is like opens the door, the wind rushes in, the wind brings things in. Some of that's a new job. Some of that's good news. New ways of making money too. New ways of making money. I'm hearing that. I'm not sure what that is, specifically how that's going to play out specifically for everyone, but new and different ways of making a living. Anything that's been delayed is going away. And I wouldn't encourage anybody to be waiting for anything at this time. This is not a time of waiting. Like, this whole thing about Pluto and Capricorn for so long, it became like a whole thing where people were waiting for someone to come back. They're waiting for something to happen in their life. They're waiting for some kind of change. They're waiting for the astrology to change. And unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, but like anybody that's still kind of waiting in that place of waiting is going to get left behind. Because to me, it's just, there's an energy of forward momentum. And either you get on that train of forward momentum or you don't. And if you don't, then it's going to be actually very hard. It's actually more hard. It's harder for me to imagine people that are not really wanting to get up to speed. I don't know. I don't really even know how they're going to be able to function. It's going to be very difficult to be able to function. All I can tell you, though, I want to say that my guide keeps telling me this. It's important. So the thing that keeps coming through is there's a YouTuber, right, that I watch, and she just bought a property, a little house with a garden in like a rural area of the country. And for whatever reason, my guide keeps showing me that. And to me, that's it. I was so, like, I started crying when that video came on and I was watching that video. And I'll tell you why. Because for whatever reason, it felt like she was taking a step forward. Like it was like this beautiful step forward, and the energy was like fresh and new and exciting. And it was like, it had checked a lot of boxes, and it was beautiful, and it was all the things that she had wanted. And it was just a step forward. And I was so happy for her. And anybody who's taking a step forward with Pluto going into Aquarius is going to feel like what's that word? Wind beneath your wings, like that fresh energy. It's like going to have like a freshness to it where it's almost like your step forward and your creativity and your whatever optimism that it brings, whatever new doors that open, it's going to be positive. That's all I want to say. Like, it's just very, very positive. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's interesting, we have this of course, the star card showing up, the star card in my Marseille deck. And what is she doing? She's planting a garden. I think of this as like the feng shui card. Aquarius always has very interesting plants. There are a lot of times into gemstones. There are a lot of, they refresh their space, so their space is never really entirely the same. There's a lot of newness. This is what the cards are showing me. There's a lot of newness. Some of the choices that people are going to have to be making are not easy. And that to me is going to be emotionally very, very hard. Aquarius is kind of detached. So it's some way you're going to have to detach from things that hold you back in like an emotional sense. And I think that probably is going to be very difficult for some people because a lot of people get overly attached to things. I get attached to things. I have attachments to things, so, it would be like somebody telling me like, no, Elizabeth, you have to become unattached to your apartment. But the funny thing is that there's new beginnings with this Aquarius energy. And it's worth whatever that you have to kind of say, emotionally detach yourself from. And so, you know what? Let's say as an example, like if I was to move from this apartment, that apartment had its time. And I'm stepping into, say, a new house that I've wanted for so long. Or I'm stepping into a new space. Or I'm stepping into a new job. Or for some people, maybe stepping into the role of becoming a mother. Or adopting and becoming a parent. Or, stepping into a new role kind of in whatever way in your life that might be. I see a kind of blossoming. To me, the Aquarius has Aquarius energy can be kind of tough and it can be kind of fixed and stuck. But the other part of it is the refreshment element, the life element, the blooming kind of energy. And the blooming is it's not like, I actually thought about this and I talked about this in one of my other videos. The blooming is not about how you're living large. It's sort of just about kind of like who you're becoming and how you're showing up in the world and who you're really turning into. And it's a very beautiful energy. And I'm actually very surprised. Again, like it's interesting. There's going to be a lot of stuff kind of left behind, like stress that's left behind, like old stuff falling away. Like to me, the energy of the Aquarius is very fresh and very new. So there's a lot of abundance. Probably more than you're imagining. Two. For some of you, it's pregnancy, unexpected pregnancy for some of you. But it's just to me, it's like the last four cards create like this kind of like, it's just like almost like opening again. It's like stepping forward into like a new life or stepping forward into like a new energy that's very, very positive. So it's actually striking me because it's like sort of like mimicking what I was talking about when I wasn't looking at the cards and just kind of channeling and talking about Pluto going into Aquarius. I think to me it's like unlocking a door or removing a blockage that's been stuck for a very long time. Yeah. It's really great. You have both, like we have the 10 of Pentacles plus we have is it the 6 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. There's like this beautiful positive emotional energy, but also positive financial energy too, which I like to see. I think this is where I want to leave things. I talked a lot about how I see this playing out, and I think that's a great way to end. So thank you guys so much for definitely watching this video to the end. I appreciate all the love and support. If you'd like to donate any amount, it's appreciated this time. People have sent me like $1 here, $2 there, and it's all appreciated. You know, it really is all the love. And I have been sending people thank you handwritten thank you notes for all donations. If your donation is more than $50 or the equivalent of a reading, you can always hit me up for a reading another time. So it would be like $65 or more. You can always hit me up for a reading. You know, if you wanted to say gift a reading to somebody else, say you wanted to donate, but you're like, okay, I want somebody else to get a reading from me. You can always say, hey, I'm sending this as a donation, but I'd like to have this person read, you to read for a friend of mine and do like a referral. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it so much. Definitely give me a like if you can. It helps my channel so much. I'm still not able to monetize my videos. It's still going to be, I don't know how long before I get there. I've made it to like 1,000 watch time hours and I have another 3,000 to go. So all likes and comments after this video is posted is really appreciated. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.